for educational critical review and reaction is the late, great Jordan Maxwell.
The children going to parochial schools have uniforms. You're going to work in a restaurant, you have to have a uniform. Why? Because it's all under uniform commercial code. Uniformity. That's what they want. Uniformity. Everybody's got to be in compliance with the business. It's all money and business and control of the human resource. So all of this stuff is hidden from the American people. It's hidden from the world. Nothing in this world works the way you think it does. Nothing.
Jordan, I have a question. The eagle, it's very similar to the German eagle, the phoenix, the Bennu bird, even the obelisk phallic symbol, this frozen ray of sunlight, male creative force. You see this in Washington, D.C.
That's exactly right.
You see this in the Vatican, St. Peter's Basilica. You see it in London, all over the world, major financial, military, and political centers. It's all over the place. It's all around us.
Everywhere. That's why the Bible says the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one. Not the whole world except America. No, the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one. Meaning, quite simply, the entire earth is covered with demonic depravity, lies, deception, symbols, secrets, and being run from behind the scenes by people you have no idea who they are and how this system started, who's running it now, and where it's going to go.
One of the things I focus on is also theology and symbolism and the occult and rituals. And when I watch something like a Super Bowl or the Olympics that are coming up, or when I see these so-called mass shootings, the numerology associated with them, the symbols, the names.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a big ritual?
Oh yes, that's what it is. Yeah, there's a whole story about that. The lady you're going to have on, you're going to have on this lady who is she's absolutely sensational. Her name is Tracy, Tracy, Tracy Twyman, Twyman. Tracy Twyman. Tracy is extraordinary. She's really fascinating to listen to about rituals or ritual killings and the dates and why certain things happen on certain dates and why it happened in France and what it means or what these words and terms mean, why they're called ICES. It's a hell of a story about the hidden symbolism of secret societies and occult orders that are operating in the world today. We know that there's secret societies. We know about the mafia. We know about the organized crime and the Chinese Tong societies and the Japanese Yakuza and all these major criminal elements in all the different countries of the world. But nobody seems to realize that there's something even bigger, far, far bigger, some sort of an overwhelming, all-encompassing criminal empire. And you begin to see the symbols and emblems of these criminal empires and governments, churches, religions.
Well, it's just like the wealthy when you see these Forbes 50 wealthiest men and women in the world, but you never see the Rothschilds or Rockefellers, any of these big families mentioned.
That's right.
The way the legal or lawful, if you will, legal system, I think there's a big difference between legal and lawful. But the way that the legal system, the judicial system is set up is set up to be confusing. It's set up to be a form of, or to at least pander to that form of acquiescence, where these people can do whatever they want to do, and it's only when you refuse to acquiesce, you need a license for everything.
And they're all capital letters.
That's correct. Jack, I think you're back with us.
Yes, Ryan, such as every welcome back, man. Such as every gravestone. They're all dead out to sea. Maritime law and admiral court law, same thing. They're all out to sea. Every gravestone is all capitals, and that's what they send you. The IRS will send you what Carol Klein had said. The IRS will send you your name in capital letters behind cellophane. She calls it the cellophane coffin.
That's because they've created this fictitious character.
Yep.
It's interesting if you actually research and you figure out where the names of places come from, whether you go as deep as Jordan or you just go very simple and basic on the surface, the whole world starts to change. Everything starts to, it's like we're living in a world where everything is very rigid, and the world starts to look like some book or some movie by Dr. Seuss. Everything's just twisted and turned and looking very strange.
Unless there is somebody out there in the heavens who are watching us, unless there is somebody out there who is watching us and will step in and intervene in our natural evolution and then intervene in our business, we are doomed, because the human race has never, in 10,000 years of history I know of, the human race has never, and is not now, and never will, rise up to protect itself. Because the human race cannot protect itself. It cannot protect itself from the predators, just as the hundreds of zebras and water buffalo out on the Serengeti plains of Africa cannot protect themselves from the 6 lions. All they can do is run. When the lions show up, they run, because they cannot protect themselves. Yeah, they got horns and they're big and they can do something, but they don't. They just run. And so that's the way the human race is. And if there's any kind of any kind of predators out there, the human race can't do anything about it. We just go along to get along, because we don't know what's going on. Nobody's ever told us anything. So, knowledge is power, and we don't have any knowledge. That's why we have no power. So that's what I'm trying to do, is empower people with knowledge.
That's the theme of this show, Jordan, empowering and taking responsibility, trying to provide people with knowledge, with information, so that they can empower themselves, defend themselves, take responsibility. We've seen a move recently to add a synthetic element, more so than we ever have seen in known recorded history, to the human element. Synthetic element in the sense of replacing human beings to a large extent with machines, starting out with handheld devices, then wearable technology, then implantable technology, then simply removing organs and replacing limbs with technology, then uploading human consciousness into a machine, then simply reprinting in a 3D printer these biohybrid beings, these clones, with the artificial intelligence incorporated with the information that has been gathered about facial features and certain reactions to certain things, how people react, how people think. Each of us individually, a database collected on the way we act, the way we think, all of the information about all of our history, and then put into almost a form of avatar. What do you think about that? Because I think that is a whole macrocosm of the microcosm of commerce and the financial system and the fictitious characters and taxes, etc., etc. I think it's just for people in general. People suffer from I think an overall form of Stockholm syndrome in a way. They identify with their captors. They identify with these belief systems and their faiths. And so when you contradict or ask a question that contradicts their belief and their faith, they attack you because they choose to defend it. And sometimes it's not even consciously. It's a subconscious reflex reaction.
That's exactly right. It's a reflex reaction. And it's called cognitive dissonance. The word is 2 words, cognitive dissonance, meaning when you hear something that you have never been told before and goes totally against everything you've ever believed, obviously the person telling you that is crazy. He must be out of his mind, because you know better. And he's telling you something that's absolutely opposite of what you've always known and understood. And therefore he must be crazy. He's a lunatic, and you can report him to the authorities because he's telling you something that's obviously wrong. And it's called cognitive dissonance, until one day, if you get smart enough, you actually find out, no, he was right and you're wrong. And what you thought you knew was not true at all. And of course, he's gone to prison for trying to help you. Where the words come from, where the terms come from. It's the catchphrases. My God, what a world of lies and deception and trickery. But if you wanted to talk about money and commerce, that's always good. Look up the word commerce in a law dictionary. It will tell you sex. Sex is referred to in law as commerce. That's the law. I didn't say that. Look up in a law dictionary. Look up the word commerce. And it will tell you the sex act is called commerce. It's a business.
We don't talk about things we can't explain because it would imply that you're a fool and you don't know the answers to things, and so that would make you look bad in the public eye if it's something that you can see with your own eyes and can't explain it. Well, scientists don't talk about things they can't explain. They don't even relate to it. They don't even talk about it. Why? Because they can't explain it. And if they tried to explain it, you would show them to be imbeciles because they don't understand what they're talking about. They don't know how to explain it. And so therefore, now you're seeing that they're just people like everybody else. Scientists are no more smarter than anybody else. And so if they can't explain something and they didn't find it, then they don't want to talk about it. Well, I'm the kind of person, I'm fascinated with the world of the occult, the unseen world that's all around you. People and places you are experiencing, we have all kinds of strange experiences. And I've talked to people, and every now and then they will tell me about their experience. And these are military people. These are very important people, doctors. These are people of means, people, important people in this world. But because I'm talking with them, they'll begin to tell me about experiences they had that was challenging to their imagination, things that they saw and experienced. So I'm just saying all of this to basically say this. The world that you live in is not what you think it is. It's far, far more serious and actually frightening if you really look at what has happened and how there is no explanation, no matter how smart you might be. Experts do not have an explanation on the stuff that's gone on in this world.
Right.
And there's so many books, many books.
You know what's great about this, though, is that actually you've spawned a couple of interesting commentaries that have come at me now. One of them, which I want to focus on really quickly, because I've had this experience as well, where I've talked to just on the ground kind of soldiers who have been involved in various activities. I've spoken with a lot of Vietnam veterans, for instance. I've spoken to veterans of various Persian Gulf engagements, let's say. I've spoken to people from the Korean War. I've spoken to World War II veterans. Okay. But a lot of Vietnam veterans, because that is an area of interest for me. Mm-hmm. Many of them have reported some very strange things, things that they identify as either alien activity or natural occurrences, creatures that they cannot explain, that they are told do not exist, stuff like that. And I find it really fascinating too that you said scientists want to tell you that, dismiss a lot of these things. They certainly do. But what religion does with it is really interesting. When you go to a pastor and you try and explain some of this, right? And if they believe you, if they believe that you're legitimate about the report you're giving, they will tell you that, it's either God's will or it's something demonic, right? Right. Quite often, like you were talking about your friend who knew the exact details of something that might occur a year, 2 years ahead. And there are the rare people. A lot of people think they're psychic. They're not. But truth is, there is a rare occurrence out there. There are some people that can simply see things long before they happen, and they can see a great many details, maybe not all of them, but they can see some interesting details. And some people would say that either this is good or evil. You know what I mean? Especially with religion, right? Psychics are evil. They are part of the devil's work, if you will. This is part of the devil's deception and things like that. And at the end of the day, if they think that something is benign, or at least is not directly harmful, or they can't really tie it to the devil, then they'll just tell you it's God's will. But the truth is that they don't have any more or less of an understanding of this esoteric stuff than the scientist does, really.
No,
a scientist
I know that.
A scientist can debunk a lot of things, and people do make up stories. People have imaginations. People take drugs, where they go somewhere else for a little while, but it's not really this reality, and things like that. But the truth is that religion, as it stands, organized religion, seems to be there to get you to stop asking questions as opposed to answering them. And especially when you're talking about something that's really outside of the realm of the typical, I guess I would say. I don't know. I don't want to call it abnormal or, or even paranormal or any of that. I'd rather say the atypical experience. They'll often try and direct you into this. Well, it's either the work of the devil or it's the work of God, and that's it. That's the end of the discussion.
Well, I like what the scientist, my dear friend Stanton Friedman said once in answer to questioning him about the presence of flying saucers and aliens. And he said the same people that will tell you that they saw an alien or flying saucers or whatever, and he said, and you want to laugh at that, but if that same person went into the court and put their hand on the Bible and swore that they saw you with their own eyes kill someone, you'd have a very difficult problem in your life, because you have better find out how to prove them wrong, because they are an eyewitness and the court will accept that. The court will accept that if you say you saw someone do something, that's the way it and that's the way it stays in the court. Until you can rebut it and prove it wrong, then there's an eyewitness against you. Well, if that same person tells you that they saw a UFO or a little small creature that you've never heard of before, that's ludicrous. The idea is you can't have it both ways. This is why I like that comment. When nobody is, when we all think the same, nobody's thinking at all. And so you need to question what is going on this earth, what is happening to us politically that has nothing to do with politics. There's a higher power in the universe which is overshadowing our human existence, and things which are happening, the leaders of this world have no choice to do. They have no way out. They must do what they must do. And so what does that mean for the political and the social arrangement we call the human race? What is going on with the human family on the earth? It appears that we have lost our way. We've lost our vision. And going back to what the Bible said, where there is no vision, the people perish. Meaning we are all dying each day and never realizing the implications of where we are in space, what our Earth is, with the connections that we have to our galaxy. What in the world is actually the truth on the earth that we live on? Because we know just from hearing every day stuff that's going on in government, black projects, we're being told that we today have technology that we can travel through the stars. We just haven't told you yet. And so I've been involved in too many people around the world telling me things and showing me stuff that it's just a mind trip. We could talk about some of those things on another time, but the world we live in is not what you think it is, and that's the bottom line. So if you think you understand God, you better go back and do your homework, because God is simply dog spelled backwards. And the spiritual implications of the human race and how we operate as humans. And when you're born, where did you come from? And when you die, where are you going to? And why is it that we see so many times ghosts and spirits of someone who died, but they have their animal with them? They have their little dog with them. And that was in the vision. People say they saw their mother or their grandmother in a vision or in a ghost form, but she had her little dog with her. What is that telling you? So I'm just saying we need to back up and realize that the world we live in is far stranger than you imagine, and you better start looking at it intelligently and realizing something is happening to the human race, and it's going to be involving the United States and us as a people. and what's coming to our country, and who is in control of the destiny of our people of America. Where are we going as a people? What is happening to our country and to our young people and to the human family itself? I believe we are in a very, very dark and serious time of finally beginning to wake up to the reality that is so far above our heads we don't even begin to know. And that's why I think the stuff that's happening, I see happening in our country today, something is going wrong. Something bad is something's wrong with our world system, and it's falling apart. And so that's why I would admonish people, you better go back and start looking at the reality of the world you live in. It's not what you think it is.